Hello, welcome back. We're the co-pilots, and we're here to discuss Velvet by Juto with Darion.
I'm actually a little offended because you said my government name and I go by Big D.
Big D's in the house.
Yeah.
I apologize.
We're gonna have to redo the intro.
We'll do it after this, I promise you.
Okay.
Put in the subtitles.
Yeah. Let the people know.
I will.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll put it in bold letters under the in the description.
Big D with a capital B and a capital D.
Gotcha.
Nothing less and nothing more.
It's all uppercase, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, that's the energy I like. Good.
All right. So, Big D, do you want to give us a little bit of background on you and who you are?
Yeah, so as mentioned before, I'm Big D, based out of downtown Austin.
Ooh.
Grew up in Southern California, where I spent majority of my time at the beach. Started playing soccer when I was 4, and I think I did pretty well because I played soccer in college.
Little flex. It's okay to brag. It's okay.
A slight flex.
It's a big flex.
But yeah, but I think I've always loved music. Started loving music when I was fairly young. So.
Was there anything that got you into music that puts you on the map for it?
Oh, my family, for sure. Yeah, I remember on the weekends, my mom would put on classic Lauryn Hill, Sade, and that's when we knew it was time to clean the house. But their music's phenomenal, so I didn't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you dance with a vacuum, or was it more of just a do what you're told?
I did. I put on full-on concerts in the living room.
Okay.
I remember incorporating cartwheels too.
Wow.
It was a whole ensemble.
Soccer player and gymnast.
Slight flex again.
Oh man. So what do you do here in Austin? What brought you to the Big Apple of Texas?
Yeah, so I really love the competitiveness of soccer, and I know I get bored pretty easily, so the only thing that would keep me on my toes, I thought to myself, was sales, because I love traveling.
Okay.
So I got into tech sales when I got out of college, and then in 2019 I was relocated out here in Austin, so that's what brought me to the big tech capital of Texas.
Oh, there you go.
So
That's
I've
awesome.
been out here for about 3 years now.
That's pretty cool. So you said that your family got you into music. Was there anything specific that grew you into music ideas or the industry, I guess? What did you start listening to that consistently?
So a lot of it, I remember for soccer practice, a lot of it was sports related. So I listened to a lot of hip hop, and that inspired me. And then when I was probably around 16 in high school, I started dating, and lo and behold, I dated a rapper, and so that really pushed me into more of the hip hop scene and more music. That way, definitely influenced me.
Cool.
That's actually pretty cool. Can we say this rapper's name, or you just want to keep it?
We'll keep it on the DL, We don't want to, no face, no case.
Yeah, I understand.
SoundCloud rapper, or hey.
Let me have my little freestyle.
I'm gonna opt out of this one. No.
I plead the fifth. No. All good.
So would you say rap is your favorite genre of music?
Absolutely. That and R&B, both.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you put on the list of your go-to rap or R&B?
Ooh, right now that's been on rotation is The Weeknd,
Okay.
Party Next Door.
Okay.
I love me J. Cole.
Oh, that's some good J. Cole.
Saba. I see that
This
shirt.
is a Saba
I
shirt
see
right
that
here.
shirt. You know it, and I got the, it's not really Chicago, but it's over there.
We're in for it. All right.
Yeah, I heard you're a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on that side of the couch.
Ladies, please. No.
No, but yeah.
Saba's great.
He is. I actually saw him in concert about last month, April-ish.
About
last month. April. No, he's super dope. I love the energy.
I don't really go to concerts, but I did go one time in 2017, I think, and I got to see Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, I love Chance the Rapper.
Chance was great. But I think next concert is either Smino or Saba.
Oh, I love Smino.
Smino, his flow.
Yeah. Okay, I like you now. You're a little valid now.
You're a little valid.
We had our little beef.
We had a little tussle.
Yeah, but now I accept you.
Smino is probably one of my greatest artists out there right now.
Yeah, his wordplay.
His wordplay, his flow, his voice. He can do everything.
Yeah, he could do no wrong.
Yeah,
I really like him.
But clearly, we're not here to talk about Smino.
We're not.
We're here to talk about Juto.
Yes.
So, have you heard of Juto before?
I have not.
Podcast?
I have not. So I was really excited to hear what new is out there. So I was glad to listen to him.
Yeah, I actually didn't know what Juto or who Juto was either until this guy sent me the album, and I was like, here we go.
And then it trickled down to me. So look what you're starting.
Now we're all here.
Now we're all here sipping juice boxes.
I think. Well, I got into Juto when this album came out. Actually, I think it was in 2019. And the first song I heard was Way Back.
Yes.
Way back.
We go way back.
Exactly.
Way back.
Yeah, that I just found that so groovy and nice, and just like, wow, this guy actually has a really good voice and has really good like music production. So
I agree.
I sent it to my good friend Brinton over here, and I guess I just started a wave. But
yes, you did. Trendsetter.
You know, it's good music when your friends' listen to it too.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it full circle.
I did add it to some of my playlists on Spotify.
Sounds good. Did you add any other songs to your playlist, or?
I did. I can pull it up right now.
So what are the names of those playlists?
Ooh, Britney! My God, we're getting into it. I put him on my mellow playlist.
Okay.
So this is a combination of like Jordan Ward. It has like some Levin Cali in it.
Okay.
Kind of like that type of vibe. And I added Way Back, of course. Homebody.
Oh yeah.
Yum. And Scarlet. So I put 4 in there.
I think Homebody is what gets me also on that playlist or that album.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something about it. It's really smooth.
It is.
I felt the vibes. I'm pretty homebody myself. I think
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Yeah, I think we all are.
The vibes.
So it's
are
like we just kind of got the vibe of it. Like
I agree.
it's like I don't need anyone because I'm fine with being at home watching a movie.
Don't call, don't text.
Don't call, don't text.
Do not disturb mode.
Yeah, DMD. Heavy on that.
Heavy on. So, out of those songs, do you have like a favorite song on the album that really spoke to you or you felt?
I think like right now, Scarlet takes me back to a time in history.
Okay.
At this time, yeah, the way it's, talking about being caught up in a spell again.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
It's also full of some lyrics from these songs. You got me, baby, caught under your spell again.
Exactly.
So I think that this speaks to the album as a whole. I feel like it's just a journey of love, and it's just a constant battle of love and what love is.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, and I think that that's what a lot of people refer to Juto. I read it somewhere that it was like a glittery R&B version of like music.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I didn't really get glittery from this album. But he also released a second one in 2019. I'm not sure which one came first, but it was Wool. So it's Velvet and Wool.
Yeah.
They were both released in the same year. So it's pretty interesting that I don't know if he was possibly working on them at the same time and then released them really close.
Right.
Or what the situation was with that.
I'd be interested to see if he how wool is kind of like a more rough fabric, and velvet is softer.
She's onto it.
She's on to something.
She's on to you, Juno. She's on to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. Maybe I'll listen
So
to
like Wool could be like the more dramatic side of the relationship, and Velvet it's more of the romantic part of the relationship. That's a really interesting take on that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Some strategy there.
I'll have to look into that one.
We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess kind of on this wordplay with albums, do you think like the name of the albums or the name of the songs in the album, do you think that they can wordplay itself, or like do you think the lyrics in each song could go onto each other's song?
Right. I think as a whole, Juto was conveying like what Brinton just said, that like obsessive love story. But as far as like the titles, I don't think that told a specific story. I think more so the cadence of the lyrics within each song played into that storytelling, but I don't know, with Kiwi and then Yum and then Games, like I don't think that's just like a cohesive storytelling. Yeah.
And I think that's about love, is it's not like a cohesive story.
That's
it's just a fist here, a hug there, a kiss there. And
A journey,
if
that you will.
That you can't predict, but you kind of can.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful mess. In the most,
a beautiful mess.
Yeah.
Well, they say dance is a love. Love is a dance. So
right.
You know, you have some faults and you have some perfect moments, but it's never. I think love is never perfect in general.
No.
Like overall,
there's
always some rough spots. So I think this album really does a good point about that. It's just it tells you how the story is.
Yeah.
And it's, if it's perfect or if it's imperfect, you know, there's always going to be some faults.
I agree. Absolutely.
Well, would you think that this album is better in like a live setting versus like listening to it by yourself? Kind of like myself, like listening to it alone.
Yeah.
Like sitting down, like I've been listening to it at work where it's just me, no one around, or like cleaning the house, like just me by myself. And so I think it'd be really interesting to like go to a concert and like, I don't know if experiencing this album at a concert level is something I would even want to do.
Yeah, I think it takes you to like a specific time period. But I also feel like what would be dope for this album, I was picturing it in like a garage pop-up concert type setting, you know, where he's like, he just sends something on his story on Instagram. It's like, hey, I'm in the town, pull up to this like just random garage in a sense, and having like that intimate setting where everyone's like appreciative of his storytell is where I think he would excel.
Yeah.
See, I think if you imagine his concert with the people, I'd say like 200 people max.
I agree.
And then 50 minimum.
Yeah.
Because then you have people who, if you get that type of number of audience, I feel like the people who go there are the people who want to be there.
Yeah.
And so if you're in the same atmosphere as all those other fans, and then they feel
crying
the same
together,
way.
I feel
exactly.
like. Trauma bonding, if you will.
Yeah. But I think it can create like this wonderful atmosphere. You know, everyone's just connecting in a sense.
Yeah.
There's this artist called I can't remember his name, but you know who Daniel Caesar is, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was invited onto a live.
Side eye right there.
Seatbelt on. Let's go.
Yeah.
He was invited to like be a guest on this one artist concert. I can't remember the name. But this artist, he's a very amazing vocal range, musically talented. Like he's top to top.
Yeah.
And so he was in a concert, and all his audience or all his fans are on the same level musically. And so we invited Daniel Caesar out. They all connected. You know, they were all on perfect pitch when he influenced the audience. Like, hey, listen, like this is what we got to do and all this. And it was just really interesting.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful. Yeah. And I think if you can get the same thing with Juto, it can be on the same level. You know, and I think even better.
I agree. I feel like he needs a tag team with someone that's like in the same, maybe even Daniel Caesar, even though
that would be
Twitter has canceled him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. But like something of that caliber.
Yeah.
I feel like that would really elevate his presence and his awareness to more people.
No, I think it would be interesting. I think one of the things that I've always wanted to do before I die is to like, the first time I wanted to go to a Frey concert, I looked up tickets and they sold out. There was only like, it's a really small venue. I like max, I think there's like 350 tickets. Okay. And then they also were at another venue where it was like thousands plus. Wow. And so I think that experiencing the music, it's like I would rather experience the Frey in that small setting.
Right.
I think that's just what I would want to do. So it'd be interesting to see if Juto, I guess, to see where he goes, to see what route he takes. I feel like he's going to possibly become pretty mainstream and a household name.
I think he should be by now.
I agree.
But I mean, if you haven't looked on Spotify, I don't think he has a lot of views or streams. I think in the millions at least. Yeah. But if you look at other artists in his genre, you know, they're already 100 millions and stuff. Yeah. Which is really unfortunate because if you look at people who like Frank Ocean, Steve Lacy, there is this artist. His name is literally just a letter Q.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're all in the same genre, all essentially the same, but they're all in different techniques and their specifics. You know, they're really great at what they do. I think you can put Juto in that conversation as well, which is really unfortunate because I feel like he isn't getting outreach as much as the other artists.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And I did try to like look him up on Instagram, and it took me a while to like find his Instagram, which I feel like is not the best that you want if you want to promote yourself as an artist. But hopefully he can get up to that caliber too.
I wonder, do we know if he plays a lot of concerts or no?
Let's
I
see.
feel like he'd be a really strong opening act for a lot of artists right now, but almost a main act.
That's so
I think
true.
if you open with Wayback,
yeah.
that's honestly, like, for the album itself, I think that's the strongest song of the album.
I agree. I would agree with that too. I'm seeing if he has any concerts. No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I think his latest release was in 2021.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fleece was the last album released in 2021.
So all of his albums have some type of fabric. Fleece, wool, velvet.
Mm-hmm. But Fleece was released by itself.
Yeah, there's no...
It's just an article of clothing each time. But I mean,
He's building something.
well, you know, it could be like a building on layers and what the
Right.
layers mean. You know,
Right.
velvet is
Wow.
more fragile. Then you
Right.
go on to, what was it?
You have wool.
Wool and then fleece.
Yeah.
And it's like you're becoming more durable, I guess.
Right.
Well, fleece is typically a lining.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I was just trying to connect it. to
yeah,
something.
it's definitely
Yeah.
a layer of, wow. It's really
But it could just be us fans, you know, just
I know,
digging
just
too deep.
digging. I love that though, because it's kind of shows how beautiful our minds work. It's like we're...
I'm also going to say that the past 3 albums is green, red, and yellow, which connects to a stoplight. That's
Just
interesting.
digging deeper and deeper.
You're so woke, Brittany.
Yellow's on top though, so it's like proceed with caution, but
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's something they thought about. Probably not, but
Yeah.
Well, so what we do, you know, is we redesign album covers, and I wanted to ask, what do you think about the album cover itself?
So, I think I'm gonna steal your
Yeah, go for
little prompt here.
Terry.
Then just go on what you think.
I don't really like it. If we're keeping it 100,
Okay, that's all.
it doesn't look velvet to me. It looks silk. In
That's
my
fair.
opinion.
That's probably just how it printed, TBH.
Oh,
But no, I actually wasn't.
I wasn't too impressed.
I actually like. It's not that I didn't dislike it. I wouldn't have. I don't know. I actually was okay with it compared to some other album covers I've seen. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, he has the eyeshadow on, so it's not just a portrait. I guess
Right.
it's you look like artists like Adele, where they just take a portrait.
That's true.
And Adele's very much like, this is where I'm at in life, and this is how I look where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
And so that's her. And so with this, it's like an interpretive portrait. And then like Wool, he has like orange hair. And so it's like the body's kind of becoming a piece of the artwork as well, which is a really interesting take that
That's true.
I know with a lot of other artists I've seen where they take portraits. It's like they're sitting in a setting or they're with the
Right.
band, and it's just a portrait. And so this is interesting how he's starting to like actually take part in the art itself with his body.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you on this, but I want to take a little step further. I think the album cover is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some things I would want to tweak and make myself. That's why I would like to do this album cover.
Yeah.
And the one thing I really think it does well is it embodies the idea of young love.
Yeah.
I think his facial
Heavy
expression
on that.
really embodies it, and then
Yep.
the velvet around it.
Yeah.
It just red is the color of love,
Right.
and so
Oof.
it's just I don't know. It could be plain and simple, but I think his
Yeah.
facial expression with the makeup and the way his face is.
I almost kind of wish, I do like it, I kind of wish it was more like, like a red velvet heart somewhere, and then the rest of it more simplified. Like a black background with like a red velvet heart.
Interesting. So is that what you would do if you were redesigning this album cover?
I think so, yeah.
Black background with a red velvet heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because I feel like the album like encompasses that classic obsession love story,
Mhm.
and the black I feel like shows the darkness of that, because a lot of people talk about that obsessive love, like it's so passionate, it's so great, but there's also a catch-20 because you can have as much of that passion in a positive way,
Yeah.
but the negative side of the passion will show up, and I think that's where the black happens, and then the red velvet heart is like the positive passion.
You know, anytime I think of an album cover with a heart on it, I go to Kanye West, 808 Heartbreak.
Yeah, I know. He's such a genius. Even though he's a little crazy.
Don't get him started on
Talk
Kanye.
about obsession love
Don't
right
get him
there.
started.
Don't get me started on Kanye. Some people find him, you know,
Yeah.
absurd and stuff, but I think he is a creative genius. And
Yeah, he is.
he can be his own man.
Yeah. He's in his own category.
I don't know. This album cover, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
There's just something I would want to see instead of what
Right.
he did, or the way I want to envision it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because I think with any album cover in general, you can see the album cover, but you always perceive the music differently than everybody else.
Yeah.
They can go with any artist, you know. So you have Kanye West, for example, and then his latest album, Donda, and it's
Yeah.
pitch black.
Yeah.
That's the way he perceived it, but how does he want others to perceive it, and how does others perceive that pitch album black?
I think that also what you said, I'm piggybacking off of that, is as an artist, I think you have to have that confidence of kind of like F what other people perceive it as, because as an artist, that's your art, like you're creative. People are going to interpret it no matter like who you serve it to, so you have to like be confident in that without worrying about other people's perceptions, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. It's like interesting to me because it's like I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast was really to dive into the album cover side of things, because like we listen to music every day. It's a part of our everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
I see album covers flash on my phone every day, but I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's interesting because it's like with every artist that we've dived into, Tom Misch designs, like his mom and sister designed the album covers for him.
Oh.
And then with Kygo, I don't really know who designed his album cover. And so it's interesting to see like how involved some artists are with album covers versus not.
Right.
And so it's interesting because it's like, did the record label release it as part of a branding thing with some artist versus the artist actually having a say in what's being shown? So that would be really interesting to like, I guess, dive into and talk to some artists to see how it actually plays out in the real world.
I guess we gotta fly him out to Austin.
For real.
Put that on Molly's tab.
On Molly's tab. Molly is her cat for everyone listening.
Yeah, not the drug. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
So, I think that one of the most interesting things, I typically don't listen to music for the words, which is something we've talked about before.
Yeah.
I really dove into this album because going into this interview, it's like I don't really know what I want to do to redesign this cover. And so one of the things, like obviously this album's about love, but there was 2 instances in Homebody and Yum where the lyrics are saying one thing and then it's like the voice inside of your head telling you what you need, what you know you need to do, but you won't actually let yourself do it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lyric in Homebody that's like, ain't no need to even call, and then in parentheses, no don't. And then it's, I'm just way too insatiable, and it's like, I'd stop. And so it's, I think that speaks to love, where it's like, you know it's love when you know what you need to do for yourself, but you won't let yourself actually do it.
Yeah.
Because you're in love.
Yeah.
And so for me, I didn't really like scan the other songs for it, but that was a really powerful thing for me because I think that for love is for me, it's just to not listen to the reasoning voice in your head. Sometimes.
That part. Yeah. I guess it is true when they say love is blind. Because it does have a way of blinding you. Yeah.
But what does it mean if it's like, it can be good or bad, but what if it is a bad thing? Why does that matter? Because what if this love is something really important and it's something that should be deserved, you know? Does that make any sense?
It does. I think my personal take from what you just said is like, you can ignore that and go for it because it's love. Like, why does that have a bad thing? But yet, that means you're kind of ignoring your own
Like morals?
morals. Yeah, and then you lose yourself. And is that safe to lose yourself with someone? In a healthy love, I think that's great. But if you look at this whole album, it doesn't sound like it's a healthy love from what he's describing. Just, you got me caught up in your spell again. And it sounds like a wave of like tides pulling, push and pull.
Yeah, yeah, and Homebody's like, I just wanted you to notice.
Yeah.
Or not Homebody, way back. Or, yeah, it is Homebody.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like you're trying to put yourself out there, but the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
It can be
I
really
agree.
frustrating at times.
And I'm gonna piggyback again. I had a lyric for that same.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, it was actually by way back, not Homebody, but it was like, my friends all dragged me out of my room, so maybe you should come and I'll see you. It just sounds like two people know that it's a wrong, but they're fighting that and still trying to like make it work.
What if it's right, but they're just homebodies?
And they would be at home together.
Yeah.
All right. So, when you're listening to music, do you ever like listen to an entire album all at one time?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that's how you're supposed to, and I don't shuffle it
Okay. So is it like a road trip vibe, or do you do this often?
often.
Often?
Often.
Like the weekend, or?
Yeah. You mean like Abel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the weekend. Very. Yeah. My favorite things to do, which it was easier back in California. I'm a morning person,
Mhm.
and so when albums released on Fridays, in California it's 9 p.m. Out here it's, 9 p.m. on a Thursday. Out here it's 11.
Oh, it's
11 p.m., 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern. But I make the sacrifice and I stay up then. When they release the album, I'll listen to it from start to finish. No shuffle or anything, because that's how the artist intends it.
mhm.
And then I usually listen to it twice
Okay.
before I start
What
shuffling.
was the last artist you did that for?
I did that for
Or just a list of-
Futures.
Okay, Future?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the latest one I listened to.
I don't know Listen to Future, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, his was like last month.
Okay.
But I also did that for Juto's when
Okay.
you sent it to me.
The last
Yeah.
one I did that for was Ben Rector actually released a new album like a week ago or so. I probably
Yeah.
did a few songs back in the day, but I just listened to his whole album. It's weird. I think honestly I didn't start listening to whole albums until we started this. But it's just, I mean, Adele's Dirty album, that one through from start to finish is a journey.
Yeah.
We'll see. I listened to Loyal Carner's whole album today. That was a journey.
I'm trying to think of the first album I did that too. I think it was Childish Gambino's latest album, with the
Childish
White
Gambino,
album. The
yeah.
White album, yeah. That was
Yeah.
such a phenomenal album.
Yeah. You know it's a
top
good
to bottom.
album when you don't skip it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And very rarely have I got one of those.
Well, to me, Childish Gambino has the voice range of anybody and everybody. He's so sporadic, and that's what makes him unique, and he can do everything.
Have you watched Atlanta?
Oh yeah. Atlanta's so good. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it, Brandon. But
You heard that?
watch Atlanta.
Yeah.
We'll drop the link.
Get your own subscription.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting our passwords.
Nope. Well, I use my sister, so.
I use my cousins. We don't actually have passwords, so.
I canceled it because $2 a month ended.
Get that 7-day subscription that's free trial.
Yeah.
Hey, but like Childish Gambino can do everything and anything. He's
I
a
agree.
comedian. He's an artist. He directs.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal person.
Judo, you got some big shoes to fill.
Yep.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
He knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all know.
I mean, Judo has potential too. Everybody
I
has
agree.
potential.
Everyone does.
I think within like the industry of music, there is no age limit. You know, when you go to
Yeah.
athletes, there's an age limit. You know,
Yeah.
hitting early 30s is where it
Physical.
caps with
Yeah.
any sport.
Well, 2 Chainz was what, 38 when he got blown up.
Yeah.
So-
Well, JID was 28, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jit.
You know, I just saw George Strait at ACL this last year.
He's what, 95?
I don't know, but he was meant to
He's
be up
pushing
there.
Pete, yeah.
Like, he is incredible and still talented, and I
Yeah.
think he could keep going.
I
Like, he
agree.
was just up there, and that was what he was meant to do. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
AC/DC has been doing their
Yeah.
concerts still. I
Yeah.
think, what, they just had a concert last year or something
yeah,
like that?
As long as you have your voice, you really.
can keep going.
Which is how that's symbolism right there.
Mhm.
As long as you have your voice, you can keep going.
Yeah.
Silence after. Are we done?
All right.
We're not keeping going.
So, talking to like 2 guys that are just randomly designing covers in their rooms, what would you like? want to see from us, or like, do you have any ideas or inspiration that you think you would pull to like use? I know you said black with a red heart, but like,
Yeah.
anything you'd pull from the album that like touched you specifically, or?
I think I've been like reviewing y'all's content over the past like 6 months that we've known each other.
Yeah.
And I really like how multifaceted you guys are. Like with Tom Mish, which is completely different genre than Juto. And so I'm really anticipating to see how you encompass, I guess, being a woman of color, like that whole thing. Just of like, I don't know, black artists, I feel, have a different type of approach to how they do their creativity than others and how they express themselves. So I'm interested to see how you guys encompass that.
Yeah. Do you have any words of advice for how they would approach something differently?
Yeah. I think just like research. Knowledge is your best friend, right? And you guys are doing that. So I think you guys already have that going for you. So I'm really proud of you both.
Thanks.
It's really cool.
I'm grateful to have you on here. It's nice to have, just to have supportive friends. It's all you can ask for in life.
Yeah. I'm always
like,
here to support you guys.
I'm running through my mind, like, what can I create? You know, I had this whole idea right before coming to this interview, and I'm just, my perception has changed.
What was your first impression? What were you thinking?
Of, like, my idea at first?
Yeah.
So, I was picturing a girl in a distance surrounded by trees.
Okay.
And just making the girl silhouette.
Yeah.
You know, like in a sundress. And then making the background something else. The trees can be a silhouette as well. But just something that encompasses like a distant love. Because that's what this album is to me. You know, it's like
out of reach almost.
Yeah, because there's the songs, you know, options. He's like, I can have anybody I want, but I want you.
Right.
And so it's like
that longing.
I want you, but I can't have you.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted something. I wanted something to portray that it's, you can grasp it, but you can't at the same time.
Right.
And so that's why I think that's how I was going to go with that, but I don't think I want to go with it anymore.
Yeah.
With what you said about having a black background and what is it, a velvet heart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
but I like what you're saying too, like that longing. I feel like also you could almost do it with either like chains or a bar of like a hand, like just like reaching out. Like there's so much you can do with it.
Yeah. So there's this architect, Mies van der Rohe. His popular saying is less is more. And now that I'm thinking of it, I think what I just said is too much, you know, to actually push for what I want.
Right.
And I think you can go with what you said, less is more. I think that's perfect. But it's just like now I have to rethink what I want to do, like how I want to portray. If I wanted to do photography, digital work, or hand drawing.
Right.
I know he did his all by hand last album.
Yeah.
And I really love that idea. Yeah.
That was cool.
So I don't know. It's like an approach as a designer. It's like, for me, I try to capture, I guess, what the album is truly about, and like where I feel like what is the voice. Like if something was screaming at me, what is it?
Right.
And so for me, when I design things, it's like I just want to try and capture that. And so I think approaching this in that same manner, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this to figure out what this album is screaming at me about. Because honestly, with the past 2 albums, it's been pretty like straightforward, like this is what we need to convey. But with this one, I've kind of struggled with, and I'm excited for the struggle in a lot of ways.
I think the way you design your album coverage, it's more of a melodic meaning to your album covers. Like you don't really take the album. I mean, you do, but you take it more of a dissection of the beat and the melody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that shows. But for me, it's more of like the ideal mind of the album. Or like what the feeling is, I guess.
Right.
I'm more of the feeling, you're more of the...
You do the feeling, yeah.
Yeah, and then you do the technicals. Which is, I think is really good because you get 2 separations of what they mean.
So, but we can't fall into habits, can we?
We cannot. We gotta break patterns.
How do we break patterns, Darion? Let's talk about that.
A day at a time, Brittany.
A day at a time, hour at a time, minute at a time.
Minute, as much time as you need, you take it.
Okay.
It's definitely a journey to break those patterns, but it's kind of liberating to see who you are on the other side of those.
It is.
New patterns that you're creating, those new memories.
Do you have any words of advice for the audience listening about breaking patterns and really finding yourself?
I think definitely take time to yourself, learning yourself, and staying true to what you learn about yourself. Like, own it, because it's a beautiful thing. You're a beautiful thing, and some people aren't going to accept some facets of you, but as long as you love yourself and accept those facets of you, you're unstoppable, really. Truly.
Yeah.
So I think that's my word of advice. Stay true to you. And it'll work out. And the right people that should be surrounded by you will come to you naturally.
Well, with that.
Boom!
Well, with that.
With that.
Just want to say thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Appreciate it.
So excited for future business for us, and I don't know. Sometimes you just do things in life where you don't really. It's probably one of the first things I've done in life where I don't have an end goal for it, and I don't really know what it's going to bring. But I'm just so excited about doing it that I don't really care what the end goal is. I don't really care what it is because it's so much fun to do.
And that's the beauty, I think, of creating. Like, that's such an artistic mindset to it, and that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you guys had me out here. Thanks for making the drive out here.
No worries.
This is so amazing.
I gotta see my boy Brinton. I gotta make this one too.
I've heard so many good things about you, and it's like, Bert is here. So.
Well, I mean, it was definitely worth the drive. The album covers is something that isn't portrayed in the industry as popular, as Brenton said earlier.
Yep.
And album covers, you can make anything you want.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm also really into because I love music a lot.
Yeah.
And so this whole podcast.
We bonded over pancakes today about our shared music love. So.
I had to stop them because we needed to record this.
Yeah.
So guys, we need to stop. Just gradually get louder. Guys, we need to stop.
There's no stopping us.
Yeah, but definitely worth the drive because it's just, it's something that we created and it's like, if you really like it and you want it, you will do it.
Absolutely.
And as Brenton said, I have no end goal for this. I just want it to just be what it is. It grows,
be present
amazing.
in it. Yeah.
But as long as it's happening, we can keep it as long as we want. There's no problem with that. It's like, would you rather have all the money in the world and be sad, or just have a little and be the happiest person alive?
I don't know. I would like to cry in a Rolls Royce.
I mean, that's
That doesn't have to be yours, Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying?
Did we say we're tagging Jason Tatum in this? I'm kidding. No, I agree. There's a simplicity of the non-materialistic things and doing what you truly love.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a simple man, so to me, it's more worth it to have a little than a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's also perception. I feel like little is not little when it's fulfilling.
Fair.
That whole.
Just like love.
Just like love.
Just like love.
And here we are back at Juto. No, I'm kidding.
Here we are back at the obsession love.
The answer's in this album. Or not, I don't know.
Oof.
You might connect though.
Stay tuned. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
I appreciate you coming on.
It's been fun.
It's been great.
Go Celtics.
What's the score? I feel like we should end on checking the score.
Yeah, we gotta end on checking the score.
And then add the timestamp.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
I'll get you on the date.
One moment, guys.
What game of it is the playoffs?
Game 3.
This is game 3 of the playoffs, June 8th at 8:57.
Quarter 2 with 4 minutes left. 56-42 Celtics.
Hey.
It's all point lead. 56-42. No, it's 14-point lead.
Yeah. So.
Well, time to turn it on.
Fingers crossed. But toodles.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.